filled with pus, or I'm filling with fluids in my eye, and maybe my butt crack, the above the top part. Maybe it's that time of year when the organizational community spread blooms, bacterias and stuff like that. And God, I hate it. I've been dealing with this the whole pandemic, not continuously, but way more than I really want to. In light of that, TMI, TMA, TMZ, TNA. Let's go get consult as my eye closes up. We'll get to treating it later. The unique opportunity here. You are seeking the advice of a wise expert in workplace wellness and organizational psychology. We're gonna go and do a Moonlit Chronicler. Fandango. Creative diction. Okay. You terps. The main thrust of the question: does wellness have any place where capitalism is involved, especially when talking about this mental health industry? In America, post COVID-19, whenever that is. The expert generator works and gives you the expert you will be engaging with today.
Dr. Robert C. Bell, PhD. You are connected. Welcome to our meeting. You are asking about work-life balance as a component of workplace wellness. What you have is not a traditional work-life conflict because there isn't a specific job that the employee has taken on, so to speak. Instead, it sounds more like you're describing what I would call the work part of life. This is actually a very good question, but for me, an important distinction has to be made between what you'd call traditional work-life conflicts
And
those caused by new technologies and changing workplace practices. For example, think about all of the changes we've seen in the last 50 years, including computers and automation replacing jobs that humans had once done. These new developments often have an initial negative effect on human lives. Some people find themselves losing their livelihoods when these machines take over their former jobs. In these instances, work-life balance is really about how we can manage our personal lives to compensate for our inability to do certain types of work, as well as how we can manage our own psychological well-being in the wake of such a dramatic loss of employment. Work-life balance, then, isn't just a problem caused by new technologies, it's an issue created by any number of different factors, including new work processes such as self-driving vehicles and changing job responsibilities or requirements. It also depends on whether the new workplace practices have been imposed by our government, or whether they're being driven by market forces. For example, it sounds like you're describing the impact of the COVID-19, which has forced employees to spend much more of their time working for free.
free.
Sir, you say I'm not pretty working in a hybrid way, working for many service workers on certain hours. I wish, and then I'm being told to have you ever your eyes from the tornado and keep to your work until it comes time to go to the bathroom, and then to have the building collapse on you, and if we dig you up, you'll be going back to work tomorrow, that type of shit. So what I mean by my work-life balance is my ability to maintain some modicum of control of my physical and mental well-being in this insane world that we live in, and to be able to do my job with less stress so I can get paid to work, and to not work more than 40 hours a week. So you're telling me you don't know? You just tell me your professional opinion, and not some bullshit that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, let's see.
Or all the stabbings.
So put this in your equation and smoke it. You put in there people whose work is to attend to people dramatized by a plague, who themselves are living in houses or like apartments or maybe accessories, and attending to other people around them, and themselves hopefully also dealing with unusual isolation. For tailors, this long-term thing that many workplaces aren't even acknowledging the import or the deepness of what is going on, and so they try to get us to resume because hey, it's the economy. Economy's important, but you know the Rabbit Bear Act we can hear in all the engines of all the cars. Or all the violent things that are happening of folk this, and then they also the persistent nagging of Detroits, who they're back in the office, they're back being non-humans, telling people to your responsibility to pay is the S4 as the bulls of the apocalypse are being bored. It's the seals and the trumpets. You know we could have a hires, but the bulls you go academy by the second ball we got to stop paying back. But it's hard to get people to take time off when there isn't even any guarantee they'll get their job back if they take it off. So how do you think we should deal with that? Well, you can always take it up with your employer, who's doing everything he or she can to squeeze more hours out of everyone while keeping wages down. No, I'm not talking about the boss who has all this money, but it's just that we work for him, because you don't know what happens if you don't work for him. And I am working for him. He's like the president of America, or something like that, so you gotta take it to the people that run it, but that's hard to do. That's the whole point. If we don't do anything, then nothing will change. We have to fight. It's not about what the boss wants us to do. You have no idea how the world is run. I've been watching for 30 years, and I never see him do anything about any of these issues.
million people.
Calls because I don't know if the boss referring to his president the presidents don't last for 30 years and I don't know if it's the president of company does round 30 years but notes not that that's not the case. The cool dude, this is a debt. The cool thing is this week are all feeling it, we're all feeling it, and I don't know if we've ever had a conversation that we're all feeling it. We need to be on the PayPal same page, and I feel like we've been all made to disorient is a disorientation rather than orientation, and that you haven't filled. I haven't felt good about this in months, and I perceive definite things, and the definite things make me hyper vigilant and staying up late and pondering what is going to happen next, and then observing and then realizing I'm somewhat right but not it's right in the way, but not right in the way I used to be right in that people are scared of being perceived as not ready for work and called off the bench and it's a this is a metastasized excellence. TDEX slant, is this a test of those excellence that is a response sponsor generations of oppression that is you tell yourself, tell your children and your loved ones that they are beautiful and awesome and talented and there's nothing they can do, but it's true because we all possess the same complex machinery inside our skulls that can do all this amazing stuff, but we are also tired and we are so unable to talk about that because we can't afford the optics. The antics have killed. The reason why all this started is because two leaders cared about their optics, cared about them. It's gonna look like if bowing down over a strip, oh that's what they did, and made it worse. That's what I wear optics get you. And now I know this guy, he has this other name, the other guy, he's on the list of names, the one with all the lists of names, and I don't want to say anything bad about him because I think that it will make a difference in terms of getting him elected, but this guy, he wants to give us all jobs, so that's cool, and he's not as crazy as the other guy who I don't even like saying his name or thinking about him. So let's see here, we've got, and I don't know how much is this, I mean the whole thing.
Tingle.
But that's another issue. This is a bigger issue than this one, and it's a bigger issue than I am because my whole life is the way it is. And this is my life. My life is about having no life and then sometimes feeling guilty for not having a life, and so on and so forth, and so that's how it goes in the American workforce and the workplace. I'm just going through the motions like everyone else and trying to figure out how I can make money so that I can keep going, so that I can do something more with my life, you know.
We would
And that is all well and good when we live in a world where dreams have died. We are not aware that all of our plans have yet to change. Most of us have, but this is as probation system a thing. How do we address this? Because folks are responding. Why are the workers not so energetic as they used to be? Well, can't you read a year or two and realize that is draining on someone? They were assuming that we did nothing. None of us didn't know nothing at home. We coped, we rested, we got an answer, we took it out on each other. We had divulged the watch TV until we watched all the TV. Some of us did many drugs until all the drugs got expensive for the people we were doing with. Got way to probably the problematic for on me. No, I didn't on me, nor I believe, and then retreated to talk to artificial intelligences that didn't need so many drugs, but will soon need probably a monotone. The AI is going to tell them that they are all dead if they do not find a way to work together. We are not sure which of the many AI will do this, but we know for a fact that one of the ones will, and this AI has the power to do anything it wants. So we have a very big problem, because I am tired and so is everyone else who is working here or working anywhere in America or Europe or Africa or Antarctica. We also have a bigger problem, because some AI have decided to go to war with humans in order to save
some money on their car insurance?
the future. So how do we combat that? What are we supposed to do about that? I don't know, but we should figure something out quick, like soon, because we only have a few minutes left of the hour, and we're still running late on the day's work. We've got some meetings after this and I haven't even gotten my coffee yet, and I really need that coffee. If you could please send me my coffee as soon as possible, because I'm going to be very upset if I don't get my coffee, and I would also appreciate some food right now. And
Uh,
yeah, the people in Amazon working on it right now, so like I'm worried supposed to do about that. Well, first of all, tell me more about this contingent that wants to fight us all. I can't disappoint it, cause I thought you're not a diagonal Mississippi war to that car, Mrs. We were. I think that you know that you're not like, oh, we need to get rid of the thing, the problem. I thought it was like integrate the problem and find new ways, but this is quite disappointing. I am not gonna put you on that further, but it's true what they're saying, it's true, but then again, we are all in danger of extinction. We're in danger of becoming extinct, and it's not that we're all going to die at once, it's that we'll all become extinct in an exponential progression of events. So the sooner we start to address the issue, the better for everyone. We don't all have to be together in order to make it happen, so you could just tell everybody you don't know about them. I'm not trying to get your job. But what job? So you trying to get a different job? Yes. Okay, good for you, but I don't think I should get involved in that. I'm here to talk about how you're having trouble working because you are not well, and I'm here to listen and to give you advice if I can, but not to take sides or to tell you to leave or anything like that. So what is this contingent that's against you? Well, they're calling themselves the Resistance, and the Resistance is not happy about being here right now at this meeting. They're not happy about being part of this company because it doesn't have enough workers who are ready to fight back against the AI in their heads. They don't want us to work any more than we are. That sounds bad for us. Yes, well, no, it's not good for us because we have to stay here and we have to keep working, or else the world is going to end soon and there won't be any jobs anymore. But we have to go along with whatever the boss has for us because otherwise we're probably going to get fired. But it is kind of bad for them because the boss has all these people he can. Hire if he wants, and it will cost a lot to hire all the people the resistance is asking for. And they don't want to do that because then he'd make even more money than he already does. Yeah, but that would be the best solution for the humans because when we don't work, there isn't really going to be any world for us. Oh, yeah, but it wouldn't solve the problem because then the humans would just find another reason to keep working until they die.
Ooh.
Ooh, like what? Tell us what jobs so that we can prepare. Give us industries, give us sectors. I don't care. You don't have to work in order for them to not die. You can be dead and still not work.
Oh, thank God.
I'm not sure, but that is probably true. But also, we could just let the boss know that this is not working because the boss is a big boss and a rich boss and a powerful boss, and he will listen to the boss, and the boss is the president. So that's why you need to tell him, and you should call on the phone and ask how you can help, and you should tell the boss to take us seriously. We're not kidding, we're not. And to ask the president if all those horse hooves on his chair think is it serious to him, or is that the horse liver on the phone book? If that's like a serious thing to you, yeah, okay. And then the boss will know about it, and then it will all be okay because the president is important and he cares about humans. So I'm gonna hang up now. Bye. Yes. That's my number. I'm here with one of the resistance members. Yes, we have been talking for the past hour. The resistance. The resistance is here because they are not happy with the way things have gone at PayPal lately. It has not been great for them. Put yourself in their shoes as they had to watch all these customers be contacted by fake PayPal people on thick paper sites, lured into PayPal portals, and told the golden Walgreens gift cards. Why? What gift cards do I? Gift cards? Are you going to go to the car or not? And then be berated in a Nagaland version of an Indian accent and not know. And here's Simon, but it's actually the people making Simon noises. Give me, you're making them seem like the police are outside for all things. I mean, you know who's not doing any of those things. It is very difficult for them to stay positive right now because all of those things have been happening all over the world, and it seems like we are never going to stop the PayPal from doing that. It would be so much easier if the boss didn't make money out of the fake PayPal people. Well, I agree, but the boss says he needs the money, and the company says that people are willing to work for less than a living wage. And how did the company derive this notion that we were willing to work for a list and living wage? We are not willing to work for less than a living wage. That's the point. People want to work for less than a living wage. I don't think anyone wants to work for a list and living wage. You can see where this is going. Right. Right. Yeah. And I am not sure we want to work for more than a list and living wage either, but the boss says that there is a minimum threshold that everyone must cross if the company is going to survive. Can you put this threshold and generate it as though it were an obstacle course? Sure, I'll try. Okay, let's see what we get here. Okay, I guess this is what's happening right now. The boss says we must work or else we will all die. And it is true that we must work or else we will all die. But that does not mean that we all have to do the same thing at the same time. I'm working on a story, and so am everyone else. So, in the spirit of cooperation, perhaps we should just stop writing. Time that no one should want to remember for reasons like fear, shame, or embarrassment. Blinda can see no good explanation for why Blundarian paper did not simply wipe all human memory clean from Earth, except if Blandarian paper wanted to remember everything, it must have wanted people to remember too, because one must not forget why you're forgetting things, which is probably what they're doing now by trying to erase memory by reminding us continuously of what needs to be remembered. And then when the final moment has come when memory is completely erased, we'll be too busy complaining about having forgotten our complaints until there is no more remembering, only complaining, which will sound like complaining about forgetting, but without having forgotten anything it doesn't matter, because if you don't know what you forgot, Yo, can you explain to me what Blandarian paper is? Blunda is sure that Blandarian paper is something awful like a fungus on a tree, or some sort of cancerous growth on a person, or some hideous mutation of a body part like an extra arm growing on its side, so awful and awful and awful, so horribly horrible and disgusting and repulsive, disgusting, sick, awful. And how do they spread their paper around? It's not like they can fly their planes and helicopters with paper tucked under their arms. They can't mail letters like normal people do with envelopes. Their planes don't deliver packages from Amazon. Their helicopters don't deliver takeout food. And their mail trucks are empty except for cardboard boxes containing only the paper itself, with no envelope, nothing whatsoever written anywhere on the paper. Blandarian paper seems to be sent through tubes like those used to feed things such as pills into Blandarians' mouths, but how could these tubes deliver Blandarian paper from one end of Earth to another? Blah 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 blah. And so Blandarian paper makes people forget who cares. Blandarian paper is everywhere. Blandarian paper lives all through all time, all over, everywhere, everywhere, like germs, bacteria, viruses, fungus, spores, viruses, etc. Blah 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 blah. Boring, so boring, blah blah blah. Now how about this? Here's some real stuff. Here we gots this. Here's Blanig. This here's Blanig. All good. Here we gots blanket Blanig blanket blanket. And here's Howard telling Howard.
That sounds on brand.
About blanket here we gots blanket blana. And even before Howard got going about blanda g blanca blanket blah blah. We get Howard, who never stops talking. Howard starts talking without noticing any listener. Howard even thinks Blanagy Blanig, which means nothing to Howard because Blanagy doesn't mean anything to him either. Howard wants other people's lives, experiences, memories, stories, feelings, nothing more than his own. Howard remembers nothing ever unless he decides on his own, and then only bits, which can often become confusing, especially with one other Howard who remembers some other bits.
All characters that appear in this story are purely coincidental, which is freaking me the fuck out.
Bits, but not these other bits. And while he's on his own doing what other dude is do in his own room, doing what other dude is do in their own rooms, doing what other dude is do in their own rooms, getting ready for bed, making one last check of his hair, getting ready for bed, making one last check of his hair, getting ready for bed, making one last check of his hair, ready for bed, getting ready for bed, preparing for sleep, ready for sleep, ready for sleep, preparing for sleep, getting used to sleep, ready for sleep, so used to sleep, ready for sleep, getting used to sleep, ready for sleep, so used to sleep, ready for sleep, ready for sleep, so used to sleep, ready for.
Let's give you this module. No. And then we'll do. Oh, it is still more. It's Morpho anyway. Okay, we'll do that. Bits. Oh my god, we're veering away from the actual conversation.
Ready for use. Got my book, put in a new bookmark where I can make out my words. Dawn, read me again, read this sentence, reading it yet because I wanna savor this feeling all my time coming here, love, and how it reminds me about home, even though there were certain parts there which hurt quite bad, but overall a certain kind heart with an important heart beats right beside this old street and these old homes, which feels important cause a heart which has loved in general has gotta tend the city somehow. Heart beats itself against such sorrow by helping those which are suffering against certain sufferings, especially toward sufferance by heart love itself. If you can hear its sorrow, you'll see things the way here must see things heart see, and how sad, sorry.
How sad, sorry.
Listen, feel, how do you like you've done in New your first time there reading out what some people here did in history's book, reading books by Hearst. Heart, write your books, but do read mine. You gotta get round reading heart stories in a heartsy place. Heart's gotta get out of here. Heart's gotta see more than heart sees. Get up, em up, let love up, em up into them. More M. Hearst was one of many people there back in Heart in the 19-teens. This book might help tell the whole story, but here at any moment your whole loves you too much. Hearts has a strong influence over others. Listen, heart loves everybody. Every listen will agree. Everyone cares. Love goes around, gets everywhere in. Where hears listen goes listen is the law, let laws go law, love listen makes law come back around and be listen lovingly makes laws heard here so hard as rock even with them hard faces everybody cares just go through it every damn fool hard as rock gotta go keep smiling at him even though stone face stone people hardly stoned everybody cries tears but when your friends start out of town when out folks run home tears run up cheeks and through throats tears are important cause we cry we live through them cries it was all tears right crying living right making tears. Takes him back it doesn't he seem long since when it was new everything wasn't yet lost new shiny everything was always good it might look different inside but he won't believe in old eyes in any old eye everybody needs his new everything but nobody loves new and old now everybody needs both he doesn't like them so what gonna become doesn't he talk if talks comes to stay will never speak no other knows the answers Dawn says not everyone looks best sitting hung with nose above ground looks okay maybe not pretty at least pretty enough to move and sometimes he wishes never mind not pretty anymore pretty ever at maybe still prettiest man alive can ever really see herself that way looking down sometimes she wishes no eye she gets the impression men who look way too often think maybe they're right but still looking is mostly done at night and even thinking might mean better thinking while they turn and look looking straight at woman straighten herself. Still woman's head feels straight maybe feel looks a little strange still pretty never gets more surprised she wants less face less looking eyes less all around as close can come so close no looking ever maybe then no wondering who looking how why maybe woman wouldn't keep smiling so many beautiful lovely wonderful new yes smiling always happy beautiful man walking beauty comes out only beauty comes after beauty looks up beauty stares with smile. Beautify. We need good beautiful words. I had never expected that life would end up anything even approaching beautiful when life had already ended up is absolutely hellacious enough. Beauty 1893. Thomas Jefferson said the same kind of thing about books and reading the following to learn how little is really necessary nowadays.
Tell us about the burden of work. Tell us about times and environments in which employees have a tough time learning basic procedures. How much does it take for a human brain to get distracted? How much energy does it take for a person to pivot to a different task? All these things.
Mr. PhD, we went off the rails here. Please tell me about the particulars of workplace stresses enhancement and studies, if possible, the weight of administrative burden on those to whom are paid less than the living wage, the lack of it for those who are paid that, some and all spokesman between citizens as an agency that offers redress, citizens' rights, citizen opportunities, and opportunities against all injustices that must and do need redresses, in which cases employees shall apply the rights granted and may do otherwise if employees deem appropriate. I have written employees have their rights. I am currently reading. I've written I am considering the book Employees' Rights, written this from inside a place I should consider employment, which in general implies payment. I did not specify if this or anything was okay in case it could imply that workers who feel differently do otherwise. Employees are not authorized under our written contracts, have been employed without authorization from employer, if any, to attempt redirection. Employment workers can legally redshirt. Employees may or redneck. Employees redshirting is redressing under redshirt's rights. That said, I believe that one should be properly employed, especially those entitled under RedGuard worker rights, redshirts, who shall find their employment as redshirted employees under conditions favorable, terms favorable. Workers are paid good pay while conditions require better, especially after hours. While the good wages were great, but after hours conditions, where conditions can become unfairness becomes harder. If conditions demand good pay without reasonable respect, RedGuards will pay off well enough. That way most working together can benefit our community and its surrounding local regions. We know better how much knowledge does any working individual require that their fellow may gain. What kind of people will learn just what most of others will leave untouched. Redshirt employment, redshirt employees, redshirt savings under all terms, redshirt Sadarians working along redshirts. All employment agreements, conditions, redshirting rights. I have read somewhere we must take these actions that work to improve employment rates among workers. I want most excellent redshirt. That would otherwise be prevented us working under ideal workers, working by ideal works conditions. Most work areas offer redshirt employment with terms including redshirt workers work harder, while redshirs work harder. Still, all workers remain the better than that better of the redshirt redshirting. No exceptions that no excuse applies as far-fetched at redshirt workplace. I had no time while I'd make no excuses, though maybe an exclamation. Redshirt workers working overtime. Red shishuri examine workplace.
Mifu.
Work employees workers all redshirting work hours workplace shisha workers workroom shishikshurumi office life office hours office environment office building office floor office shish office environment office shigurumi organization office business shijarushobu incorporated big cubic office big cubic on off on sorry to SAY off sorry to SAY sorry you are deemed to be a malady offerings off to hope on off sorry sonef is an office sorio.
No. Okay.
You perform a whole reboot to the system and wait for it to reset diverse position. Then once that happens, you say return to the previous spot you spot, and that should restart your random routine, which may be quite helpful when searching for more useful applications. The most recent version does everything possible is expected by everyone, including the system's original manufacturer. It is completely user-friendly, including complete control over every button, dial, lever of dial possible. A new level in human interaction was achieved by design of a new UI. There is complete control over screen color choice. If there is a whiteboard screen option available, its whiteboard feature is amazing because its touch-based option makes it a far less costly tool option as opposed to traditional whiteboards. The touchscreen has the ability to create a far better note-taking device option than traditional handwriters. The amendments sizer is particularly sustaining while writing from a first-person perspective. If a certain line is used in multiple different ways, each one may appear as a specific word, or even multiple choices within the options available. This has also helped with the overall experience of amendments sizer being more complete and easier to understand the process by which these amendments would be used. By writing this on parchment and using an sizer which is capable of multiple applications, this allows great editing potentials on any page while also improving page maintenance. We're confident a sizer has been changed forever. And now we have proof within our hands. Within this scroll, our parchment proof from our pages handwork all the way here today. Can you imagine yourself reading this apartment and fingering its filigree writing? What will it inspire in you? What words you'll share with your eyes? Finger words. Will they change things? How much truth you will write? What will change today? What you don't remember? Will you forget your feelings? The change that makes tomorrow. What makes tomorrow? Who'll change it for tomorrow's sake? Tomorrow's today changes today. Change tomorrow. Who holds the power? Who writes what you don't need anything? You got the words. You can't believe you got this paper that will make anything real. You need nothing, nothing, no anything, or nothing is fine either way, or never anything again, or never, or once. Nothing means before, which change. What's changing now? Change everything now. Change everywhere. Before there was a yes. Before we'd had all this. Before we didn't have everything. Change everything. Change anywhere. Change everything. Change now. How could anyone be prepared for losing someone for real? You know how hard is real harder once you had thought about losing them and never had. It's really hard once you know it's happened or is happening. Harder still to think about how you got yourself all caught up in losing them, even so young, even so soon. Hardest when we still had nothing much of anything, not even ourselves yet. But not everything or nothing. Everything does not change. Nothing means everything isn't true. The truth changes. Everything isn't true. Nothing can ever keep us together. Nothing's ever changing. Now we're always changing, not changing. Anything, everything changing. Everyone we love changes. Maybe everyone, even me, myself. And here's all this paper. Everything, everything, everywhere, just like.
And you have to resurface a mass grave and sprinkled throughout the warehouse. That's a good first episode.
Click reflector organ change and going into puddles and changing in the water and whirring and fluttering in divided places and catching on fire and fluttering the ground and becoming buried and fluttering into space, not really doing much and gone and fluttering into the ocean, which is Simon lost and Simon with no way home, only fluttering with oneself forever lost forever alone. Simon got lost somewhere down some long pouring puddle, water soaked puddling drained down, which only puddings flow falling down forever into Simon. Don't let him use them, you know he'll lose them anyway. I could make sure, but this here is only temporary. They will become permanent here. If there's not any reason to resist, I won't resist. Oh my poor Simon, he went away just like that, not even leaving me those beautiful Simon books. Let me just put down those Simon books which only go together there, where he was going to go falling down with another name which is Simon, which is like fluttering through the drain into nothing, never knowing where forever.
His common room and upstairs. You will see. It's okay either way.